Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy Ghost Dog back in the house. And sorry, I am adjusting my camera while I am talking. The sun is literally like right here and it's hitting me right in my eyes. So if I look like I'm squinting or something like that, it's because of that. But we are back with our car combo number 6 of the series. And I don't know how many of these I'll have. I'll just randomly do these whenever I feel like I want to get them done. Let me take my ring off. Not my wedding band, baby. If you're watching, it's not my wedding band. See, it's still there. Just the Galaxy ring. The Galaxy ring is what causes my camera to stop in the middle of me talking sometimes. So let me just go ahead and remove that now. But today I wanted to talk about the being mentally prepared. A lot of us go in here with the responsibility of basically self-defense, but are we actually mentally prepared for what we're going to handle? So I went to GDDG and I put it in the, give me talking points about mentally preparedness. And so I figured I'd share these talking points with you guys and we can kind of go through that. And you guys can tell me also what you guys do to be mentally prepared in the comments below as well. But one, the weight of the responsibility. Carrying a firearm for self-defense means accepting the possibility of taking a life, even if it's justified. Every pull of the trigger is a life-altering decision that can't be undone. The goal is to not win a fight, but to survive a threat and to do so lawfully. So when we talk about self-defense, that weight of responsibility of that particular part is, we're not out here just, most of us are out here, not out here just willy-nilly with our firearms. We're actually, the majority of us who are 2A rights people are out here using our firearms what we consider a self-defense capability situations where we would need to protect our life and or the life of loved ones and people around us that we want to take care of. I know I talked about it in my range video, my 750 round video with my Mechanic Prime, that even though I was just shooting paper because I wasn't hitting my target, those would be rounds I would have to acquire. I would be required to know where they went, and I'm responsible for wherever they go. So I want to be better at accuracy. Accuracy, man, such a hard word to pronounce sometimes. So when I pull the trigger, I know exactly where those rounds are going to go. So if I aim small and I miss small, then I should hit my target and I shouldn't hit around my target. I shouldn't be shooting things behind it. But that's something you kind of have to think about. If I take that shot at that person in my home and I miss, what is behind that person? To the west of me, I have a neighbor. He lives by himself, so I could miss him, but I couldn't hit him. To the east of me, I have a family of 5 that lives next door to us. Could I hit one of the kids? Could I hit, could something happen there? My daughter and my granddaughter live with me. Could I have accidentally shot one of them unintentionally in the process of trying to defend my household? So being cautious of where your firearm is actually aiming and or what you're shooting, being responsible for knowing what's going on around you, not only to protect the family that you have within your 4 walls, but knowing what's going on around in your surroundings as well. Then you got the legal consequences. Even when you believe you acted in self-defense, law enforcement and prosecutors will investigate your actions. So if you're not on the top level of, hey, I know I was in the right, you could be potentially facing, even if you say, hey, I was right. This guy came and attacked me with a knife. He was coming at me. He's going to attack my wife. He's going to attack my kids. Going to attack my husband. Whatever it may be, you took that person's life. They could still charge you based on just random things. Depending on the state you live in, not all of us have, stand your ground and those laws that are there for us to help protect us from things like that. You must be able to articulate your fear and justify your actions based on the circumstances. So I always talk about I practice at a certain length away, because I feel like after that, that's where I would feel like, for me, I could feel like my life was being threatened. But until I'm in a real life scenario, I don't know what that be. It could be the guy 30 yards away. And could I potentially run and get away? Maybe. Could I not potentially get away? Maybe. Would I be justified in taking a shot at that person? And if I hit that person or hit anything around that person, do I accept the responsibility of what comes from those actions? And then civil lawsuits may follow, even if you're clear criminally. So that's something else to think about. We talked about that in the self-defense carry coverage. I don't like to call it insurance, just carry coverage, because some have insurance, some have coverage, but it all, in the end, kind of some of the same thing. Knowing your state's laws on deadly force, duty to retreat, and castle doctrine is essential. So if you haven't looked up the laws in your state of what those are, make sure you're taking the time to look those up. I try to refresh myself every so often on what my constitutional right here in Indiana, and making sure that I'm trying to follow those laws to a T. And having legal protection like your CCW insurance or attorneys on retainer can be critical. So we talked about that before. Number 3, emotional and psychological impact. When you take a life, even in self-defense, it often brings long-term emotional trauma, guilt, nightmares, anxiety, or PTSD. I will share a story with you guys. When I first started with the bank, I think was my 6th week with the bank. I was still in training. I went to go help at a branch on the other side of town, and they had just recently been robbed, and pretty much most of the staff was gone, so I was there helping out for the holidays. It was New Year's Eve. It was myself, the branch manager, and her lead teller. It was a pretty slow day at the branch overall, but I seen a guy come from behind the branch, which was odd because this branch kind of faced the back of it, faced like a wooded area. I said, well, that's odd. So I asked the managers, like, do people usually walk from back there? And she looked over and seen that it was the same guy who had robbed them the week prior. And I tried to stop him at the door. He came on in. So then I tried to direct him into the office. And he didn't want to go in the office. You know, he's like, I want to cash a check. I was like, great. You know, let me help you out that here in the office. I knew why he was there. He knew why he was there. Eventually he gets to the point where he felt brave enough he said, I want to cash this. And he pulls out a gun. He points it at me. And in that moment, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm about to die. I was thinking, I got mad instantly, like inside. I literally got furious, but I had to stay calm because of the 2 people that were there with me, and just did what he asked us to do. And we let him get away. He did him not getting very far with any of the money. He put an explosive pack in his robbery bag, and I think he got like around the corner before it popped on him, and then he just threw the bag of money down. And that was kind of a situation and the reason why I'm talking about this story is it wasn't what happened. It was what happened after. There was many nights where I woke up, I couldn't sleep because I had nightmares about this guy putting a gun in my head. I mean, it didn't stop me from really going to work. It didn't really interfere with my day to day, but mentally at night, it would play back in my head, and I would instantly get upset. I would get very mad. I was so filled with rage after the whole thing. It was definitely a very, very much a thought process. After a little while, you know, things went on, and I moved on, obviously. I'm still at the bank. It's been 11 years now. So anyway, let's moving on. Many who've used deadly force describe it as something that changes them forever. I haven't had the opportunity to say that yet. If you have, maybe you can leave a comment below about how that affected you. Counseling and mental health support should be viewed as part of recovery, not weakness. Most of the people in the 2A space are men. I would say the high majority of us. And as men, and I'm going to talk to my brothers, basically us black men, and probably just men in general. I didn't grow up in another household. I grew up in a black household, but you probably grew up in another household, and you probably were treated the same way as men, we didn't do X, Y, Z. Calling bull on that. As a man, if you are running through a problem, you should be able to go out and talk to somebody about that without feeling like you're less than a man. So make sure that you're getting the proper help. Before you ever carry, ask yourself, am I truly prepared to end someone's life to save mine or someone else's? That's a thought you could have. Understand the difference between protecting life and reacting out of anger, fear, or pride. I think a lot of times we feel like it's self-defense, but in reality, when we sit back and look at the situation, some people have taken people's lives. There was a story here in Indianapolis that it definitely was a person who just decided to take somebody's shot at somebody. I don't think intentionally meaning to take their life, but they end up hitting the person and killing that driver, and almost caused an accident. But again, do you have the mental preparedness to handle the situation that's about to come? The firearm should be the last resort. It's not a problem solver. It's not made to solve a problem. It's your last resort. De-escalation should be the topic of anything first before you move to using your firearm. Speaking of which, de-escalation first. I went out of order here. Oh, moral and ethical reflection. That's what that topic was. So we're on topic 5 now. De-escalation first. The best fight is the one avoided. We just talked about making sure we de-escalate the situation if at all possible. Be aware, avoid confrontations, and use communication or distance whenever possible. Now, someone breaks into your home, completely different story. A lot of times they're breaking in. You don't know what their mental process is, why they're breaking in, what they might do to you and or your family if you are there. Lethal force is justified only when there is an immediate threat of death or great bodily harm and no safe alternative. 6, the aftermath. What to expect. You'll likely be detained, questioned, and possibly arrested. So you be prepared for that. If you take somebody's life or you shoot somebody, even if you don't take their life, if you shoot them, there's a good chance you could be detained. So be prepared to be detained. Anything you say can be used against you. Invoke your right to legal counsel before making any statements. Do not make a statement. Do not. I don't care if the cop is your buddy or what. Do not make a statement. Be ready to say, I prefer to, reserve my right to legal counsel before I make any statements about anything. Your firearm may be confiscated and your name could be publicized. You know what? I'm going to even say probably. Your firearm will be confiscated. It's just they're going to take it. You could be given back to you, but it's more than likely going to be taken. And then relationships, work, and social perception may be affected. So just keep that in mind as well. 7, preparation and mindset. Train not just for accuracy, but for judgment and decision making under stress. I am going to be eventually taking some more classes here at the Indy Firearms facility that's just behind me here. I'm going to be taking a rifle class. I'm probably going to be taking a couple of self-defense classes here over the next few months. I want to make sure that I'm fully aware and prepped to what I need to be able to handle when the time comes. Have a personal plan for what to do legally, emotionally, and financially after a shooting. All those are valid. Understand that being armed doesn't make you invincible. It makes you responsible. So are you prepared mentally, or are you getting prepared mentally for what could come if this situation were to arrive for you? I know this video is a little longer than my normal car vlog videos, shorter than my regular videos though. But thank you guys if you made it to the end. I appreciate it. Let me know what have you done or what will you do going forward that will help you get mentally prepared or get mindfully prepared for a situation like this in the comments below. And I will talk to you next time. It's your boy GDDG saying stay safe, stay ready, stay prepared. I'll catch up with you next time. Peace.